Welcome to episode 74 of the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jack Minogue.
And I'm Brian Hines, and as God is my witness, I thought for sure turkeys could fly. With us, as always, the disembodied voice of our producer, Tiny Brian.
I'm right there with you, man. I really thought they could fly, but, oh, dear Lord.
Actually, they can fly a little, but
not out of a helicopter.
No, and I can
certainly not if they're frozen.
I can verify this because I knocked one of them out of the air with my car a couple years back. So yes, they can fly. They just can't get too high off the ground.
Yeah, this is the 47th anniversary of that. Cincinnati, never forget.
46.
46th.
Yes.
Jackman, you have no idea what we're talking about, but you are gamely sitting on the couch. We appreciate that.
You mean someone in Cincinnati got up in a helicopter, threw heavy stuff at the ground, and thought it was a good idea?
It was a radio promotion from station WKRP.
Right.
Back in the day.
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised that was going down in Cincinnati. Wasn't Death to Disco at Cincinnati too?
No, it was either the Chicago White Sox or the Boston Red Sox, I want to say.
I want to say Chicago. It was somewhere in the Midwest.
I'm pretty sure it was Chicago. Yeah.
The White Sox seems like losers enough to have that disco night that would turn into the Death to Disco.
Oh.
Do you like the White Sox, man?
No, I'm just saying.
I thought you were a Red Legs fan.
There are people in the Chicagoland area, I'm sure, who would probably feel differently. Are they listening to us? Probably not, but you never know, right?
I mean, we're sort of a sports
Today
show
we're
here.
getting into all the action from OVW Rise, a.k.a. OVW Television 1319, emanating live from legendary Hot Point Davis Arena on November 21st, 2024. But first,
I guess this would be the time for the tour update, would it not?
I believe so.
Before we do that, why don't we talk about Fan Zone Live?
Yeah, as this seems to be as good a time as any.
So I guess we should start with just a dispassionate summary of what happened.
What you saw on Fan Zone Live, if you watch Fan Zone Live, all of you that watch it, we appreciate it. For those of you that don't know, that's Wednesday nights on OVW TV on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. What you saw on OVW Fan Zone Live was 100% legit. We did not know Doug Basham was coming by.
I had a whole other script written. A whole other show.
So I guess to get into some nuts and bolts here, there's three people that have a key to this studio. Victor let Doug Basham in.
Right. I have a key, but I was sitting here on mic.
And the other person that has a key, who we assumed it was, the last person we assumed it was Victor letting in Doug Basham.
Yeah, he was at home with his kids and his wife and his hot meal and his whatnot at that point. We were certain.
So what kind of goes down in here is we hear clanging the door open, and we know at that point that it's one of three people walking in. We assume it's the third person, our CEO, our boss, our wonderful boss. Tiny Brian gets up to confront whoever's making all this racket in the other room.
And was not happy about it.
He was, and boy, Tiny Brian was moving. He was moving.
Tiny is ironic, folks. I'm a big boy, but I'm faster than you think I'd be in short distances.
And he popped open that our curtain here, and Doug Basham's on the other effing end. And
it was just this view of basically right above the sternum, where the leather shirt was just sort of open, and we had some tan flesh, and it just coming at me like worse than any kind of 3D. It's an image that stuck with me.
If you watch back, he walked straight in. That is all us recorded in real time, our legitimate reaction. Yeah. And Doug sat with us for an hour, kind of took control of the show, told us that we're having a very special Thanksgiving edition this Wednesday. I guess that will be tomorrow after this drops. On the Fan Zone Live, where he's bringing down
mystery guests.
Mystery guests.
He didn't say for sure. He just said, I'll bring some guests.
So we're in
an ominous fashion.
Yes. We're going to call it Fansgiving. We're going to take out the couch you guys are sitting on. We're going to replace it with a large table. We're gonna stack it full of food as cooked by our own Chef Maisie.
Okay. Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
always a good time when you get to eat Miss Maisie's food.
And so there's that. So we have that to look forward to. Now, we're gonna have enough food for a bunch of people. Who all's gonna show up?
Nobody knows.
Doug just laughed in my face when I tried to find out. Because I do care about making a good program. I want you guys to. We don't want a bunch of noise. We don't. That's why I would get up and try to get people to not be making a bunch of noise when we're in here trying to do a podcast. So, So I care about that, and so Doug's not telling me nothing about. I'm going to use one. Doug's not telling me shit about what's happening.
Hey, a rare one from you. Wow.
So.
Wow.
Look, you said a swear.
I'm a producer. I'm slightly frustrated. We're just trying to make it through. But that's Doug. He's allowed to do it. We'll roll with what he gives us. We're gonna call it Fansgiving, and we are filling up a table.
And we are looking forward to you guys joining us.
Yes.
Tomorrow, the night, Wednesday night.
The night before Thanksgiving.
The night. What? We got a date on that? Is that the 27th?
28th is Thursday.
28th is Thursday?
Yeah, 27th.
So the 27th is the fan zone.
Yep.
7 p.m. On the OVW YouTube channel, there for everybody to see. And while we're talking about YouTube, go subscribe to our YouTube.
Oh,
Pretty please and thank you in advance.
Doug has been hooking us up with a lot of favors recently, not only coming by the fan zone, but...
He was at the Bourbon Brawl. If you weren't there, if you've been living under a rock, if you didn't hear anything about it, he came to town and laid down a challenge for us. And that challenge is as follows. We need to get 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel by Christmas. I'm not going to say if, because I don't subscribe to that, maybe we will, maybe we won't mentality. When we do this, he is coming back to Bourbon County. He said that he would put every single title in OVW on the line for the Bourbon County crowd. Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, he is willing to get in the ring with any OVW locker room opponent of our choosing.
And here's what's important about that is because it's not just our choosing. Listeners, it's y'all's choosing. You are going to be a huge part of our decision-making process.
All y'all.
All y'all.
But first, we got to get there.
Yeah. And Al talks about that there's no OVW without the fans. Even Doug now will acknowledge that sometimes he'll acknowledge that there's no OVW without the fans. There is no OVW podcast if you guys aren't, without you guys helping us out. So tell your friends. If you've got a buddy who also watches OVW with them, make sure they're at least subscribed to our YouTube channel. They don't have to listen to anything we say. But if they like OVW even a little, get them to subscribe. Help us out.
Totally free.
When you're sitting down on Thanksgiving and you're trying to avoid your uncle or aunt for whatever side they are on that you disagree with, just change the subject to the OVW podcast and subscribe into our YouTube channel. Go around. And whenever people ask you what you're thankful for, say, I'm
OVW
thankful for
podcast.
everyone here subscribing to the OVW Podcast YouTube channel. Just anytime anything comes up this Thanksgiving or really this holiday season that you don't want to deal with, just make sure everyone in the room subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's an easy fix.
It really is. In fact, in these fractious times, your family is probably going to be divided, and they may even argue about those two, divided AEW or WWE, which one's better? And you have the perfect solution here. You can solve all your family's arguments.
We know that there's two big sides in this country, Coke versus Pepsi, but the OVW podcast, it can heal all wounds.
And the OVW in general.
Yes, it can heal all wounds.
Yeah, the OVW is the little engine that could, and as Cashflow once said, I'd forgotten I was quoting him until that very moment. But, by the way, did you see Cashflow got a new neighbor up on the Wall of Fame there?
Boy Toy Troy. That's
zoom in and you guys can see it. I'm confirming. If you check out our YouTube channel, you can see the picture in the.
I'll
you want to point to it there, Brian?
I'll post one.
I sure do.
I'll post one to Instagram of that picture. Boy Toy Troy.
I absolutely love that 8x10.
You hadn't seen that before, had you, Brian?
I didn't know it was there. No.
No, I just put it there today.
It pulled a Basham on me. It just kind of came in out of nowhere and was like, ooh.
For those of you that don't know, Boy Toy Troy's got probably the hottest 8x10 at the merch table these
Just
days.
ask him.
Absolutely, yes.
He's really, really, really trying to fill out those pants. It's kind of, it's like he's kind of got like a negative butt. Kind of like
Hank Hill,
like a bulldog's rear end.
like Hank Hill.
Yeah, kind of like Hank Hill.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to actually say that, but I was just plugging that out, putting that out there for you to use.
You guys go visit Miss Becky at the merch stand. You ask them, what's the highest selling? What's the hottest? I need a stocking stuffer for an OVW fan.
And Boy Toy Troy can stuff your stocking.
And Boy Toy Troy's been looking for a stocking to stuff basically since he started appearing at OVW.
Wow, this got awkward quick, kids.
Hey, man. Boy Toy Troy, he's out there strutting his stuff.
Oh, I don't hate on him for that, and he certainly is. I'm just saying. Yeah.
And now, I think it's time for the OVW tour update.
Are we sure about this?
I'm going to post a picture of that when we get off of here, by the way, so that people can
look
see
for
what
it
we're
in our
talking
feed.
about. Yeah, I'll put it in the feed. So
I'm pretty sure that I will be purchasing one to send to my cousin Weston up in Columbus.
That's true. Your Weston is the biggest Boy Toy fan in the world.
He most certainly is.
Actually,
ask him, he'll tell you.
Fast.
Boy Toy Troy is probably the biggest Boy Toy Troy fan in the world, judging off of these recent photo shoots he's been doing. But your cousin, a close second.
Right up there.
Actually, Star Player Prime, then your cousin.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. All right.
Tour updates.
So you can catch OVW every Thursday night at Hot Point Davis Arena. Doors open at 6:05.
6:05
is what we're
shooting
with.
for. Yeah.
We're
shooting for.
You get there around 6. You'll be there in time for the doors to open shortly thereafter. But Rise is every Thursday from 7 to 9, except for this week because we have something to be thankful for, and that is Thanksgiving Thunder, and that is at Hot Point Davis Arena on November 26th. So that will be this evening if you're listening to this upon its release date. In addition to that, we have OVW Seasons Beatings at Country Boy Brewing Tap Room in Georgetown, Kentucky. That is December 13th.
The all-time great events.
I've been to several shows there, and yes, it's always a good time. You can't go wrong.
It features wrestlers even on Netflix.
That's right. It's episode 1 and 2.
Somewhere along in there, very early.
Very early.
It is the episode that I am featured prominently.
That's the one where Matt Jones looks like he's staring angrily at Victor's son for just a moment because of the way the camera caught him. It's pretty funny.
Who?
Exactly. Moving on.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. OVW Christmas Chaos, and that is at Hot Point Davis Arena the following evening on December 14th. And finally, we have OVW Winter Warfare in New Kensington, Pennsylvania on January 25th, 2025. You can get tickets for all of these events at OVW Tix. That's OVWTIX.com.
And without further ado, we will be back right after this.
So I've been told that my recent ads are not going to be very effective. I've been given some feedback, and folks aren't particularly happy. So, I don't know. I could talk about Homefront. I could talk about that we will take your ad money now and put your banner up by our logo there behind Jackman and Brian. If you see them sitting there awkwardly while I'm the only one talking, I will go ahead and maybe I'll mention once again to go subscribe. And by the way, if you mainly listen to us on audio, things have changed in how we release things. So this is probably a good place as any for me to mention that. Used to be I would release the YouTube video couple days generally after the audio came out. That is no longer true. The audio comes out on our normal platform, wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, whatever, at 5 a.m. And then it hits the YouTube channel the very same morning at 9 a.m. So we're trying to give you guys as much flexibility, be able to get us, not if you want to watch video, you can do that the same morning. So that's just all the more reason why you should go subscribe. We do have its own video podcast feed on the YouTube.
We are trying over there. We put headers and stuff. We put fancy stuff in the captions now.
I'm gonna make when I go home tonight, I'm going to make a cover image for this very video. So, yeah, do that. Or listen to the Bluegrass Homefront podcast wherever else you get your podcasts. Or, I don't know, give us some ad money, something like that. Anyway, I'm having an existential crisis about this particular segment. I'm going to probably rethink it. In the meantime, now back to Brian and Jackman.
All right. Well, we start in the ring. We start in the ring, same place we started the last few weeks. Katie Gannon and Doug Basham in the ring with Tony Gunn this time. Kal, comes out to confront.
Well, it was Kal in the ring first. Kal came in first.
Sorry, in my mind, it was. So, yeah, Kal started.
We came in a little late, so that may be why you're thinking of it. But when you watch the video, Kal comes in first, and he's yelling about he wants Al back, and yelling about. So
does the crowd.
Yeah, so does the crowd. And then Doug and everybody comes to the top of the ramp.
Yeah,
to kind of yell at him.
In my mind, I've just been thinking the past few weeks that show opening promo with kind of Doug and Katie in the ring. I just thought maybe in my mind, we were continuing that, but I guess we were not.
Kal didn't give him a chance this week.
Doug, of course, is confronting Kal after the end of last week. He was not allowed in the building. He ended up getting in the middle of Tony's match, giving Dustin an advantage. Doug's sure to be upset about that. He puts out a challenge to Kal that will be going on at Thanksgiving Thunder tomorrow, right?
Today from when this comes out.
Today from when this comes out. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. We need to be speaking in the future tense.
Yes.
When's the last time you saw a European rules match?
I wasn't aware that was a thing.
So I know that, like, the English thing or the European thing is based on the rounds system, and I feel like there had to have been some William Regal, Lord Steven Regal thing at some point that was a European rules match, but it's not a stipulation that I'm super duper familiar with.
I've never heard of it. I didn't know what it was until they said the rules.
The rules are 3 5-minute rounds, submission or knockout to finish, and if there's no submission or knockout, there will be 3 judges. And the 3 judges thing kind of reminds me of WCW a little bit.
It reminds me of Dodgeball.
Dodgeball?
Yeah.
The sport?
The movie.
Okay. I didn't know if there were. I've only saw that once.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, or at least this is my thought. This reminds me of boxing. And I feel like when half the country just watched Paul versus Tyson, or at least tried to watch it, it seems like maybe they're trying to tap into that energy a little bit because they had judges, they had rounds. There are definitely some traditional boxing elements in these rules.
Yeah, and Tony versus Kal will be as real of a fight as Tyson versus
Reeler.
At
Paul.
least.
Yeah. Reeler, actually, much realer. Where's Payday, though?
Well, they ain't got that Netflix money anymore, unfortunately.
So yeah, I could see that I could see that being a thing. I think that really this is because you don't want to you need a stipulation here between Tony and Kal. You don't want to have a huge stipulation because you want to save that for the pay-per-view that's right around the corner. This also gives you an opportunity to have a big return in whoever the third judge is.
Yeah, as we'll talk about a little later. I think you're going to get one of the things you always kind of talk about wanting.
A pony?
That, maybe, but a time limit draw.
Yeah, I love me a time limit draw.
So I think that's what you may end up getting out of this. And so congratulations and happy Thanksgiving.
I do love me a time limit draw, man. It just gets me going. Just really just gets me fired up.
How?
I don't know.
It's a draw. So in essence, it's kind of like a tie. It's like kissing your sister.
Because when they're done right, and it's like right to the end, and it's like to the last second, and it's two people going toe to toe, and you're about to get that last. You just need one more second to beat the person. I love that. I love like just like half an hour of just like wrestling, like
Okay.
It's just my thing. I don't know. Cody's like one of my favorite guys. Cody is probably my guy, and like for me that kind of run in between WWE and AEW, the time limit draw is one of his favorite things to do, and it just has it could be used to further both people and really advance one person. I don't know if that's what they're gonna end up doing here. For me, honestly, this is not moving toward a time limit draw so much as it is trying to get a return as that third judge.
Yeah, whoever that third judge is going to be a huge pop.
Yep. And as of right now, we do not know.
I have some guesses, but we'll cover that later.
Yep. Let's move along to our first bout, shall we?
Rematch, Ashton Adonis, again with Layla Feist and Eric Surge, running it back from last week's second verse, same as the first.
Yeah, just about like the last one was last week.
So what do you think we're doing here?
Sucking at cheating?
That's obvious.
Yeah. I guess but to get to the point, we'll say that Eric Surge wins because Layla Feist again gets caught cheating, or Ashton Adonis gets caught cheating. Ashton Adonis cannot get a clean win over Eric Surge, and also cannot seem to distract the ref.
A win in general,
or a win to save his life.
No.
Right? What do you think they're like? Seeing it 2 weeks in a row, what do you think they're getting at? I have a guess.
You go ahead and guess, because I haven't the foggiest.
So I noticed that Ashton Adonis has been very respectful to Layla Feist.
Right.
I think that it's going to be like, I can't win because of you. He starts to treat her poorly. She becomes super duper babyface. He becomes the most dastardly heel. I think that his respect for her is going to like be eroded eventually into disrespect and abuse, right? That's kind of my guess. Otherwise, I don't know why we would see it twice back to back unless we were being told to pay attention to their interaction specifically, Adonis's and Feist's interaction specifically.
You don't think maybe they just thought the last one was weird and they wanted to try it again?
No.
Okay.
And they would do it the same way?
Right.
It does. I mean, I'm not saying any of it's normal. I'm just here spinning theories.
I think people want to cheer for Layla Feist more than they want to cheer for Ashton Adonis. And I think that Ashton Adonis kind of using her as, the way to emotionally manipulate the crowd, I would love to see. I think that's where we should go, and I think that's why we saw it kind of twice in a row. I don't know what else I'm supposed to take away from it.
Well, in this one, Dan Patterson stopped the match because of the chain, but then restarted it.
Right.
Restarted that match. So that's the only real difference is the ref caught it both times, but this time, no, you still have to fight, and which allows him to get the win.
A more definitive victory.
Yes. My sentiments exactly, Brian.
I'm just kind of at a loss. I mean, it was weird last week. We saw it again. It's even weirder now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that it has less to do with Eric Surge and more to do with Adonis and Feist. That's kind of my guess.
Yeah.
Moving along.
Let's do that.
Mount Kadeem and Tony are talking backstage. Tony flushes out Mr. Kadeem's pockets a little bit, makes sure that he, really hurts Kal later that night. Really, really gives him the business.
And yeah, I mean, you kind of expect that from folks in the Revolution because that's their kind of MO.
I don't know if Kadeem necessarily needed any more inspiration, but a fat stack certainly doesn't hurt.
No, I wouldn't turn down some extra money. It's the holidays, for crying out loud.
So up next is one of the most pleasant surprises of the evening for me.
Actually, yes.
You want to jump into it?
Well, you kind of saw this coming after Adam Revolver stomped on the radio title a couple weeks ago. So the next thing we see is Leo Fox coming to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Fox with a box.
Yes.
In socks.
And then he grabs a microphone and just comes off with this eloquent promo about, being a champion for almost 7,000 days and really putting Shannon the Dude over, which I hadn't.
It started at 2,000 days, remember?
So
yeah. It was 2, then 4,
so
then 5,
it's
then
one of those.
7.
Okay.
And yeah, he sounded like he had been holding a microphone for half his life. Sounded so comfortable on that microphone in that spot. All of it. Got down on his knees, which got a laugh out of the crowd. And these guys are not. The Davis Arena is not really primed to support either one of these guys.
No.
Certainly not when Leo starts putting Shannon the Dude over.
Well, I did not see the Leo Fox promo coming. I didn't expect it to be that good, that entertaining. I get the vibe that Mr. Fox is maybe a little bit more interesting of a guy than I've pegged him up until this point. Oh, am I still there?
We can hear you fine.
I cannot hear myself. Between the Fletch references and the 90s hip-hop tattoo sleeve, I have a feeling that Leo Fox, and the promo being, like, genuinely funny, genuinely interesting, very, very well-paced. As you said,
just the tempo of it.
As you said, it sounded like he had a microphone for a long time. This is the first time we've really heard the man speak in OVW.
That is true.
I have a feeling that we're going to continue to be impressed by Mr. Fox the more we see of him.
I would agree.
This concludes in, of course, Leo Fox opening the box. And what is inside, Brian Hines?
It is a brand new, shiny radio title. Not only that, but at least one of the side panels has a picture of Shannon the Dude holding the old title.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch.
Just one of the panels, but yes.
That is the most vain thing I have ever seen in wrestling, but it totally fits for this scenario because, I mean, that's
That's Shannon.
If there was a new radio title to be had, that would totally be it.
No, I thought that the one panel with the picture was very nice. I thought that was a really nice touch. It's not as friendly, though, as Shannon would have liked it to be. It's not the grand coronation that he was hoping for because, of course, his old best friend, old running buddy.
That's right.
Adam Revolver.
The friendly thumb, Adam Revolver, as we're now calling him.
Comes and busts up the whole party there.
Oh, I cannot believe how much I love Adam Revolver now.
I mean, I think it's been a long time coming.
Brian, can I tell you my favorite thing is when you draw Adam on your thumb.
How that goofy little face that he makes when he's doing it.
That is my biggest moment of joy.
It is my happy place. It really is. And then you show it, you extend it to Jackman silently, and he just sort of looks at it, unsure what to say.
Annoyed as usual.
Yeah, that's kind of my general reaction to most things. Believe it or not.
No.
So a little bit of heat before the Dustin Jackson AJC match. We see them kind of getting tangled up in each other's hair backstage, pulled apart. Up next is, of course, the match between those two, AJZ and a newly minted media champion, Dustin Jackson. First,
did I miss why they hate each other so much? What was that all about?
Because Dustin Jackson is a good guy, and AJZ is a bad guy.
Okay, but that happens like 8 or 9 times a night. You know, why do these? I don't know. I don't know what. I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, you kind of just need nothing more other than since Dustin's been back, it's been all about the protection of OVW, putting OVW on his back.
Right.
Since AJZ's been back, it's been about dismantling OVW. From a storyline perspective, you don't need anything other than kind of Dustin and the babyface we know him to be for him to hate AJZ.
Well, that's true, but I mean, they were going at it pretty intensely backstage, and that, you know, it just doesn't normally. I mean, what was it that sparked that anger from those two guys?
Not enough room in the mirror for both of them. Those are two pretty boys.
Yeah, could be. There wasn't enough product to go around for both.
Yeah.
So they basically just get thrown in the ring.
They somehow ran out of baby oil backstage at Davis Arena. We have been back there once. I think I've told this before. There's got to be like 7 rooms, 8 rooms back there. Probably more now since we've been back.
It is a 50-room mansion.
There is not a single room with at least 3 half-used bottles of baby oil in it. It doesn't matter if there's a TV there. It doesn't matter if it's a camera room. Every room you go through back there, just baby oil
somewhere in a corner.
Yeah, somewhere, every room.
I do not remember any of that, but I believe you.
Pretty sure he's true. Pretty sure he's right about that.
Oh, and that was the thing that stood out to me the most from the tour.
And the thing about those sort of spaces, wrestling show backstage, that's really an infinite space.
Yeah.
The hallways go on forever, and there are infinite amount of rooms and lockers, and it's a crazy you don't want to get lost.
So what I'm saying is, if they were fighting over baby oil, I could see why they would be so mad.
Because they
had to have used all of it.
If there's 3 bottles in every room, I mean, quick math, we're talking like 150 bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they go through all of it.
And that's just
I'd be pissed too.
And that was most of it was just on top of Doug's head.
Well, yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you. That was not for wrestling related purposes. That was for.
All right.
That was for after dark. That was for after dark purposes.
AJZ and Doug look what you did to me.
Got Doug on the mind?
Well, now I do. AJC and Dustin are pretty much thrown in the ring and go at it. What do you guys think of this match?
I mean, Dustin Jackson is about as white hot as anybody in OVW right now.
Maybe as white hot as anybody has been in the time that we've been covering OVW.
The hotterest.
For me, I would have liked to see. I would like to see something maybe a little different for Dustin's first match after winning the title. I would have liked to see like a definitive victory, and maybe have AJZ come out and bully him afterwards or disrupt him, and the other guy gets the victory, kind of like we saw with J-Rod later in the night. Mm-hmm. I would like to see something kind of more like that, so that Dustin's first match as champion was a clean finish. Like a clean victory for me, right?
Well, yeah, obviously. But I mean, as far as Dustin himself goes, this is probably the most fired up I think I've ever seen him.
With AJZ, AJZ is just like oozing ferociousness, right? He's very, very, very just like
primal,
over the top kind of primal character. I think that, speaking to your point, that brings out the fire of Dustin Jackson in a different way, right? Because he's not wrestling a guy that wrestles like any of the guys he's beat up until this point. He's wrestling a monster, you know?
Yes.
I think we'll probably see this again Tuesday night or tonight.
It just keeps getting closer and closer.
I think that we'll end up seeing another iteration of this on Tuesday, simply because we did not get the clean finish. We got counted to 10 on the outside, and we still couldn't get these guys separated.
No, that was I mean, I didn't expect a double count out. And they were out there. It seemed like they were out there for a long time.
Yeah. I actually thought this was a great place for a double count out, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I liked it. Even though, as I said, I would have First match out of the win, I want it to be more definitive than this.
Yeah.
But I do think that we will see AJZ and Dustin again, like I said. And I think that hopefully that one gets room to breathe, man. We could put that on as a main event anywhere, AJZ and Dustin.
Who knows? It could be at Seasons Beatings.
Could be. We'll see.
You just never can tell.
We'll see what happens tomorrow night or tonight, dear listener.
Depending on what day it is.
So main event, I guess before the main event, we see Will.
Yeah, there's some backstage action before we get to the main event. And this was probably one of the most entertaining backstage segments I've seen in a while. It starts off with Will Austin and Jay Dinero.
Can I just say poor Jay Dinero with this
Ace hole.
Yes. Will wants his ace in the hole.
Yeah, and that was shortened to
Ace hole.
Ace hole.
Which one was worse, Ace hole or Kinnison calling Maximo and Hoda the boy wonders, Super Z's boy wonders?
Wow.
That one. That one. Ace hole, that kind of works. That's kind of funny. But the boy wonders, not so much. At least for me, anyway. But what do I know? A whole lot of nothing.
Will Austin's running that same old game, trying to convince Jay Dinero that grass is greener on the other side of the fence. Tony Evans comes in and interrupts any notion of that. Katie Gannon comes in and
says, "Hey, fam,
says,
I've got
"What
an
up,
idea.
fam?" Yeah.
You guys are going to have a tag team match against Beaches and Cream."
So I like to think about Katie like coming in and out of all of the over the course of the episode in terms of Pinot Grigio's had. Like in character for me, I think that like she's just like the ultimate like middle manager boss who's just like clearly drinking like more, but no one thinks that they are. So I always like to imagine that like as the show goes on, she's just like right now she's at like 2 Pinot Grigios.
Okay.
I just feel like that character is white wine drunk all the time, right? Is that not
Drunk with power?
No, like the kind of like suburban single mom,
desperate housewife,
white wine drunk that I'm talking about. Yes, I like to imagine Katie the character as that kind of white wine drunk.
You make her sound like Roger from American Dad.
Roger from American Dad and like the stay-at-home mom, wine drunk, zanned out stay-at-home mom are very similar, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, she just reminds me of like the somebody at like a haircutting place that's just a little too self-important, right?
These are some deep and complicated metaphors you're coming up here for.
Yeah, you kind of like lost me a long time ago, so you just roll with it. Whatever you think about this is it.
There's going to be people out there that would be like, oh, yeah, you're totally right. Katie Gannon's character is white wine drunk.
To quote a wise man, I don't know what you're saying, little boy, but I believe you.
Oh, nah, see, I'm out again. I lost everything. Take over the show, please.
So Katie at the end here does say that if they lose, I believe she said if they lose, or she just teases it, we're going to get a Jay Dinero on a pole match.
Judy Bagwell style, baby.
What?
Judy Bagwell.
Oh, yeah, they did put Judy Bagwell on a pole in WCW, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, wow.
She was like on a forklift, but yeah, there was a reason you were watching the other channel when good stuff was happening.
Oh, I see. Well, there's that.
Yeah, no, we're gonna Judy Bagwell, Jay Dinero, and I guess I'm here for it.
No, they like during this tag team match, they said there was going to be a contract up there, right? I mean, it's not actually going to be him up there like a marionette or something.
If they do not put that big man up there,
get a scissor lift, stick him up there. No. I think you're right. It's probably a contract that you get for Jay's
I'm almost
services.
positive that somebody on the commentary team said that, and that match is up in front of us now.
That's not what Katie promised, and Katie is a woman of her word, and I want Jay Dinero on that damn pole.
He's a flagpole sitter.
I bet he would probably not appreciate that, but what do I know?
I tend to agree with you, Mr. Hines.
Either way, the winner of that match is going to be Jay Dinero.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter who
he's cashing the paycheck
of
way.
The two contestants in that match for Thanksgiving Thunder, Jay Dinero is going to be the winner.
So I think of no surprise to anyone here watching, Tony Evans and Will Austin can never seem to get on the same page. They will set one another up for the worst moments and then try to steal one another's glory throughout the entire match. Beaches and Cream, though, best friends in and out of the ring, baby.
Yeah, and as far as a tag team unit in OVW, they're a well-oiled machine.
Probably the most well-oiled machine going right now.
That is what happened to all the baby oil. That is why Dustin Jackson and AJZ were pissed.
They were mad. They thought they blamed one another when they should have been blaming Beaches and Cream.
Yeah.
Where are the screeching violins when we need them? Because you have just set this whole podcast spinning in a new direction, Mr. Hines. That totally explains
AJZ
it.
and Dustin Jackson team up. Baby oil on a pole match.
Versus Beaches and Cream.
Nobody would ever win that match. That would be a perpetual match that went on for infinity because it would be too slippery for anybody to win.
That would be the greatest heel treachery of all time, or babyface hubris, not hubris, but babyface foresight. Is Beaches and Cream challenge X, Y, and Z to X, Y, and Z on the pole match, and they just lube up that damn pole. It's like it's Philadelphia after a Super Bowl win. They just grease that pole down. And the people can't get up there.
Okay.
I had forgotten they lube up their lot poles in Philadelphia.
Yeah, they did for
That's just a true fact.
Wait, so you're serious?
Yeah, it's an anti-riot measure.
Yeah, it keeps them from climbing the poles. Because when you win the Super Bowl or whatever it is they do in Philadelphia, they get excited and they want to climb the lot poles and sit up there.
Okay, first of all, I grew up rooting for Cincinnati, so I don't know anything about winning a Super Bowl, all right?
I grew up where a football just looked like a basketball that got laid out in the weather too long, so I don't know anything about none of them, but I'm trying.
Drink at home if you're keeping up. Drink. Tiny Brian uses Eastern Kentuckyism.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Do it in moderation. Seriously, if you do,
it's
have
a long
one,
holiday season. It's a long holiday season.
Have like 2 or 3 waters because you know that there's another one coming up here in the next 3 to 5. That's just how it is.
I do like to pour them up.
I mean,
but they do.
It's right up there with I'm from Pikeville.
In the downtown area, I know this. I can confirm they do grease up those poles. Just like they hide all the couches here in Lexington.
Can we not use that phrase anymore during this episode of the podcast anymore?
Well, no, because
I mean we're in Kentucky. We burn couches apparently.
Oh yeah, it's true.
They will actually go patrol and get all the couches.
And throw them away. That's why you keep them inside
until it's time to use them. Yes.
Just burn them inside and save yourself from having to take them outside.
Man, I wish I was so. If I could go back 10 years for just one day, I'd go burn another couch.
Another telling us that he has already burned at least one.
I've burned at least
What's
4.
stopping you from doing it now?
I'll just go to jail now. As opposed to when I was a kid and it was precocious.
You're under 18 and you're doing any time. Anyway.
No, I guess the last one that I burned was probably 2014 when when Kentucky beat Louisville, last minute shot against Rick Pitino, Elite 8.
I have never burned a couch.
I'll take you out one day.
I burn bridges.
I'll take you out. Brother, I can. How long do we got?
We got an hour.
Long enough.
We got an
Not
hour.
long enough. All right. So
let's move along.
So this match, I mean, it was all beaches and cream, obviously. Austin and Evans didn't really have a chance to win. I mean, for me, if it would have been Austin and Evans versus Luscious, I think he still would have won.
Just based on that they can't get their stuff together?
Well, I mean, the fact that he's the only guy at OVW that uses his ass as a weapon.
That's fair. I
mean, he is stinkalicious. Luscious.
There's nothing more, though, that I love than an Omar Mir hot tag. When he just busts out the corner. Especially here, he takes both of them down immediately. Will Austin there's a couple points when we were watching this where I was like, that boy's going to fall on his neck.
In this moment, we are literally sitting for most of it under Luscious Lawrence because we're in there. We're at ringside. You can see us. I'm in the big red coat.
There's so many times where Will during this match is at a complete, straight line on his way down to the ground. Like Will has kind of perfected those really, really tight aerial maneuvers recently, and it's been a lot of fun.
Are you talking about the corkscrew crossbody?
Not just that, but
because that is sharp.
On some of these suplexes that he was getting thrown on, or some of these other maneuvers where he would go up and over, and it seemed like he would dangle in midair completely straight for 8 seconds.
It really, yeah. I commented on it at one point during the live show to you, Jackman, if I remember. How long was he just hanging there?
I think that you might have been talking to our friend Matthew at that point.
I very much was. Hey, Matthew.
Yeah, hey, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew.
We got some stuff rolling with Matthew.
Yeah.
We're excited.
We don't have it ready tonight, but we had a good long talk with our friend Matthew, who takes the most phenomenal pictures. And we're working on something, so just keep your eyes tuned. As a matter of fact, what you should do is subscribe to our OVW YouTube channel, the OVW podcast.
Because in the future, in the coming weeks, some of Matthew's great photography will be right here.
Right here.
So as we're breaking down these matches, you can see Matthew's great photography of the match.
Yeah.
That's our grand plan.
You guys do love the magic window.
We got to use it more often. We really need Malachi
We
back
need to
there.
use our powers for good.
We really need Malachi back there on top of it. That's what it's really more about.
By the way, you guys do know that there were comments on the YouTube, like literally linking the moment when Malachi laughed loud enough that it could be heard on mic last week.
Yeah, I think that was our friend Ito.
No, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, something, I don't even remember what it was, but something was said last week, and Malachi laughed loud enough that they could hear it on the mics. And yes, Ito commented with a link that goes directly to that moment if you want to hear maybe the only time we've ever heard Malachi's actual voice sort of here on the podcast.
Yes, we should share that because I would love to go back and replay that.
About 1 hour or two here. Boy Toy Troy, as we said.
Let Peaches and Cream get the win. I don't know if we said that specifically.
I think we, no surprise, you've got the best tag team going.
We almost made it there, but yes, Peaches and Cream get the win, which means that for Thanksgiving Thunder tonight at Hot Point Davis Arena, it will be Will Austin versus Superior Tony Evans, and it is a Jay Dinero
on a pole match.
Metaphorically,
it is a contract. It's not going to literally be Jay Dinero suspended above the ring, probably.
Yes.
But it's Thanksgiving, so who knows?
Hour one kicks off with Star Rider actually running Brian Kinnison away from his commentary chair.
Yeah, he kind of shoos him out of the way, hops on commentary there with Linda and Josh. He is joining commentary, of course, for a match between Boy Toy Troy and Icon Lee. Icon Lee is the number one contender for the Rush Division championship at this time.
That was after last week's match.
Right. Star kind of coming out to get his eyes on the merchandise. Given that Icon Lee is the number one contender, unfortunately, I think that Boy Toy's fortune was kind of cooked there.
Unfortunately, yes.
But he did sell a picture.
He did.
It's there on our wall.
And guess what? We're gonna sell a bunch of those.
And he earned.
I'm gonna make sure that it's a good Christmas over at Boy Toy Troy house.
Oh, definitely.
When he sells all those pictures.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And so here's the thing about Icon Lee. Is he comes out kind of surprised the boy had a promo on him. I never heard him speak before.
I was surprised too, and it was almost like that promo was longer than the match.
It felt like it. I'm a little confused at the. I know that Star Rider's the heel. He's in the Revolution. He comes out. He's the bad guy now. Like all that stuff. What has Icon Lee done in his time at OVW to come out and say, "Oh, these are my people. I am the champ. I am these people's champion." Like, in all honesty, what is he like? Where has he been? Even the number one contenders match, he did everything other than cheat to win. Right? He wasn't in the match for a majority of it. I am curious. What am I the only one that feels this way?
I'm with you. I understand your point.
And he wasn't getting, to be 100% honest with you, he wasn't getting a great reaction from the live audience.
But he was pretty good on the mic.
I will give credit
that
where
was a
credit's
solid
due.
promo. Yes,
I will give credit where credit's due. I was surprised by the promo, but
we should maybe pause here to say that he probably got those skills dealing with the Nice Guy Andy podcast.
Oh, the Nice Guy Andy podcast. Our friends over at the Nice Guy Andy podcast.
Yeah, our neighbors here in Lexington.
Do tell.
They have something. I saw something recently. Something about a promo.
Yeah, they're having a $250 promo contest. They're offering advertising packages to promote whatever you're into on their show.
Okay.
And all you got to do is go onto their YouTube page. I think subscriptions are open for another couple days. So while you're off work for Thanksgiving, work out Hard Times, work out the Millions and Millions. Whatever your favorite kind of The Rock doing something.
Wait, so does it have to be like an iconic promo, or can you just make your own promo?
It doesn't really say.
Like if I'm having a really, really good Thanksgiving dinner, like all the food is good, and I'm just about to lose my shit over it, and I do a promo about how good Thanksgiving is and thank you, Mom, and all that, they're going to be like, well, that wasn't Dusty Rhodes in 1986, so we're going to have to disqualify you.
I am not entirely certain. I think
I'm sure that you can go over to the Nice Guy Andy podcast
on their Facebook page
and figure out all the details, because we are a little sparse of them. Obviously, we are friends with those people, those fine folks over at the Nice Guy Andy podcast. And Andy, guys, if you're listening, kind of a rough couple weeks for me when we had the schedule. Let's reschedule. I'll call you guys. I need to call you guys and come on soon. So you guys will get the best. You guys will get the better part of me. I promise. So. Am I off base, though, with Icon Lee?
Not especially, no.
Icon Lee has never been over with the crowd at Davis Arena, at Hot Point Davis Arena.
And if he had come out in that four-way match and was out there the whole time and won fair and square, maybe it's a different story. I just think that, I don't know. For me, maybe would have found somebody else for the straight up babyface versus Star Rider role.
Who would that have been in your mind if you were booking this for Thanksgiving Thunder? Who would that have been for you?
I think, you have to. You gotta keep Hoda away. You gotta keep those guys away. At the end of the day, Icon Lee is probably the smartest choice because he is the one we've seen the least of. I just don't understand the big babyface thing. That's where my disconnect is happening. It's like, I'm not mad at the match. I think that Icon Lee is a pretty reasonably good wrestler. I just don't understand the big babyface thing. And I don't think that's ever going to happen for him at Davis Arena.
Well, OVW has never shied away from having the I hope they both lose match.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and this feels like a classic OVW I hope they both lose match.
We'll see, and honestly, we'll see what the kid's made out of. This will be his biggest platform to date. We'll see what he's made out of. And what do we say more than anything else? OVW fans will love you if you can show up and do it. We'll see if he can show up and do it.
I have a feeling he's going to be he's in for a rough night. I mean, for one, he's got a match with Star Rider. Star Rider's the champ. You know how he feels about Rushy anyway. Yes. Not only that, I have it on good authority that Thanksgiving is Star Rider's favorite holiday. So I'm sure he's going to walk in with a chip on his shoulder, knowing that he's missing out on Thanksgiving stuff because he's got to take care of this guy. Yeah, and family's very important to Star. We know that. So yes, he'll probably attempt to make quick work out of him so he can get back to his family. So I think that up next, the next match, probably the most interesting thing that we saw all night. Are you talking about the 6-person sampler? Yes. Yes. And it's because of precisely that. Yeah. It was a sampler. And one half of the ring made sense. Yeah. Hoda Peso, our buddy Maximo Suave. Yes. And
close personal friend.
Our local neighborhood superhero, Super Z. Yes. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows those. Everybody knows those guys. Yes. And everybody loves those guys. For the most part. But it was just weird to see across the ring from them was Iceman Justice Davis. And it seemed as if he was like the impromptu leader of this ragtag group. He was like the impromptu leader, like, okay, you're coming with me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, somehow he's the old head in this. He's the
the
experienced head somehow in this trio.
Right. And the other two gentlemen, Elijah Euros and
Eros.
Right.
Eros.
Yeah, like from erotic, the Greek word for Eros.
Eros.
And Jake Painter.
Jake
Painter.
Jake Painter.
Yeah, that's the guy who started out in like the painting smock with the can.
I think it's a different cat, man.
Really?
Yeah, man. That guy was called the Master of the Mat. This guy's just called Jake Painter. This guy.
With his dollar store Cody Rhodes gear.
How can I say this nicely? He very obviously wore his influences on his sleeve. This Jake Painter fellow. He did a code breaker.
Oh yeah.
He did a lion tamer.
So what do you want to talk about?
He came out. So what do you want to talk about? He came out doing that gimmick, basically the Cody Rhodes thing.
The only thing missing was Stardust.
Yeah. No, I mean the only thing missing was I don't know. Name a gimmick. Just literally no. Name a gimmick. That's what Jake Painter was missing. Name it.
You just yell one out, and he just does a move from it.
Yeah.
It's almost like the vending machine at a tattoo shop. Like you put your quarter in, and then the design comes out, and it's just like, we're going with this, and next we're going with this. And
it's like when you find out that you can take your toys apart and snap them into other into place because they're all made out of the same mold. And,
yeah,
and it's just kind of like a Power Ranger arm and like a Beetleborg arm and like
yeah. In 1984 for me it was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
You found out real quick that you could snap those arms off and put them on onto somebody else.
Could make real monstrosities out of those first Eternia figures. Absolutely.
And I did.
Absolutely, it
Quite
was
a
fun.
bit.
So enough making fun of Jake Painter.
Are we sure?
Actually, yes, I'm sure I couldn't come up with anything. I want to talk about Mr. Eros.
The barefootness makes me cringe.
Loved it.
It scares me for him.
Loved it.
The man, he's.
Oh, I'm with Jackman on this. I fully support barefoot wrestling and just being barefoot in general.
I am the wrestling fan novice, so maybe I just don't understand how cool it is.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, you're from Kentucky, so I didn't figure it would be like something you would be like, I don't like that. I'm kidding.
I think Elijah is
with a lightning bolt.
Scary athletic.
Yeah.
I think that if I had to guess, just because it kind of looks like I'm not going to say that. It looks as if he is used to fluctuating his weight a lot for probably amateur sports. He kind of has that build, kind of has that frame, kind of has that move set, that natural athleticism. He knows to stay down to the ground. He's not afraid of beating his knees up.
So high school, college wrestler, you think?
Yeah, collegiate style wrestling. I think he just he has that because, the really, really good collegiate style wrestlers are skinny, wiry guys, much like our friend Mr. Eros here. And he just
still Eros.
Elijah, all right. He's not gonna be. We're not gonna be calling him that for that long.
He had a smock and a lightning bolt.
We're not gonna be calling him that for that long. But that's what I like about this guy, as opposed to maybe a Jake Painter, where this guy doesn't take himself very seriously at all. He's given kind of a silly gimmick. He can silly it up with Super Z the same way that he can be super athletic with Super Z, right? And if you're getting compared to Super Z, that's not a bad place to be in OVW.
Absolutely not. He's a fan favorite.
I think that kid is... There's just something about him that strikes me as very, very, very easy to engage, easy to teach, he's willing to learn, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that maybe Mr.
I'd love to know exactly what's making you laugh over there, Brian.
The pose off.
Yeah, we were in the middle of this match, and I didn't get to see it in real time as we were doing it. I just caught like the second part of it. I didn't see that Super Z hit him with the Z, and then Eros did that number. But that was particularly funny.
I just like that he's not very self-serious, down to the loincloth, or what's it called, the toga, and the footlessness and the pose off. I like
and
him.
The lightning bolt.
I just think he's strangely athletic, and I really, really like that. My other thing that I would like to talk about here is, when are we just going to put Maximo and Hoda in a tag team?
Please.
Just let them go win the tag team belts.
Just let them go do the thing, and let us all have fun, and let them have fun.
Yes, please.
We've been waiting. We've been patient.
We've been good.
For crying out loud.
I thought this was a wonderful little showcase for all of the Academy guys, though.
Can we talk about how normal and good that Justice Davis seemed in that leadership role?
He was outstanding in this match, especially in that role as being, the leader for that side of the ring. He really did a great job of kind of like, not really like directing traffic, but representing his side and kind of inspiring the guys to get in there and stuff. So hats off to you. If I were wearing a hat, I would take it off right now in your honor. But
Cowpoke Paul's hat off to you.
And
hey, that's in the car. That reminds me, I need to grab some stuff. And if you guys have a minute after this, I could use a hand. But anyway, I digress.
And Justice, we used to make fun of your gimmick, but it was nowhere near as bad as we just did Painters.
No, nobody's been harder on Justice Davis than me, and he's come such a long way. From even the physical way he expresses, I'm cold. I love it all. So he much improved from Justice Davis.
He's got big things coming for that guy. Big things coming for that guy. Even when we first started seeing him, people were super ready to root for him, man. Like the Davis Arena crowd has had him circled for a long time. So excited to see more and more opportunity for him.
And it's almost winter, so this is technically his time of year, right?
Do you think he's gonna be like should he still shiver in the cold, or wouldn't that shouldn't he not shiver when it's cold?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him.
Let's get him in here and ask him.
Yeah,
yes, I would love that.
Open invitation, Mr. Davis. Open invitation. The penultimate match of the night.
Super Z and they do get the win.
Super Z comes in and
the ones you recognize get the win.
And he comes in and saves the day with a bulldog / clothesline.
Yeah, I liked that.
That was something.
I like a bulldog.
I mean, having somebody's head under your arm and going for a bulldog and having an opponent run at you on the opposite side of your body, on your left side, and clotheslining them, that is probably like the coolest power move I've seen in this year, outside of anything that Donovan Cecil might have done, which are several things.
It's a different category.
Different
category.
Yeah, that's a heavyweight category. This is a rush division category.
So the penultimate match of the evening, I think everyone at the beginning of the match started to feel a little sorry for Miss Carter Kaufman.
She seems delightful. I've never actually been face to face with her, but she has kind of I don't know if it's because of that music. That music is so upbeat with it. I don't know if it's that or what, but I feel like I should buy popcorn from her or something.
No, you guys should go to a game together, a baseball game.
I'd love to go to a baseball game.
Well, then there you go.
The reason, in case you were wondering why we might have felt sorry for her at the beginning of this match, was that she was paired with one OVW Women's Champion, J-Rod. J-Rod across the ring from her, of course.
Yeah, and if we would have gotten a chance to do predictions on the Fan Zone last week, I can safely say that you would have said, Carter Kaufman, thanks for coming.
Tiny Brian, what did I say when Carter Kaufman got announced that evening?
Thanks for coming.
Yep, I did. And under most circumstances, I would have been right.
99.9 times out of 100, you would have been right. But
you go to wrestling for the 100th time.
Right. And I did not expect, probably should have, but did not expect Freya the Slayer coming, interrupting the match, looking like better than Donna Prentice, looking amazing. Freya the Slayer comes out, commands the camera.
And that gives Carter Kaufman just enough of a window of opportunity to sneak out a win.
Only takes 3 seconds.
That's it.
Or ever how long it takes Daniel Spencer to count to 3.
Hey-oh.
No comment. Afterwards,
I will say that Daniel Spencer actually did do that 10 count out this week. He counted all the way to 10.
Yeah, and I was going to just completely avoid that and not make any sort of weird joke.
I'm here for the weird joke. But anyway, let's get back to this match. Carter Kaufman gets the win, and let's get to our
Carter Kaufman gets the win, but that's not all. These two women, much like AJZ and Dustin Jackson, will not leave each other alone. Doesn't matter who's trying to pull them apart. They do the classic, no, I'm good. Straight back into it. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Huge match.
A lot of that
as far as that
around.
goes, I mean,
between J-Rod and Freya.
The heat is on Glenn Fry style.
That is right.
And they did finally make the match. So we will see these two collide tonight.
That is what we've been waiting for 3 months.
Yeah.
Since the moment AJZ came through that door.
J-Rod.
J-Rod.
A lot of
initials. Sorry.
Yeah.
Since J-Rod came down that ramp for the women's title, the last time we saw Layla Gray, we've been waiting for Freya to get her hands on her.
We have. So, big night at Thanksgiving Thunder. Looking forward to it on this Tuesday night.
Oh, you betcha.
OVW returns to Tuesday. Final match of the evening.
The one
main event.
I guess we should say that Doug Basham also approached Mount Kadeem and kind of pointed. They were there at the Wall of Fame and backstage at OVW where all the pictures of the past stars are. He's like, I could put you up there, man. I know people. Finish off Kal Herro for me. So everybody wants Kal gone. They are terrified of Kal Herro.
Yeah, they had more than enough. He had more than enough reason to go in there and just destroy Kal Herro. I mean, what with a couple extra bucks from Tony Gunn, maybe you get your picture on the wall. You're in the Revolution Employee of the Month.
Yeah.
Get to park real close.
You get to park real close. You don't have to dress outside. Speaking of, did you see his new ring gear?
Mount Kadeem's new ring gear. I'm going to go thumbs up.
Certified fresh.
What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it looked great.
I think that he needed a little tweak of the ring gear to really come across more effectively as a threat.
Yeah.
And I think that this new ring gear achieves that.
Well, they say the clothes make the man, so there you go.
I don't know if it helps him to be more mobile or if it just helps him to look more mobile, but he sure seemed to be more agile, more comfortable.
He looked more intimidating.
Yeah, he sure did.
His presentation is a lot more on course for the way he's being portrayed in OVW now with the new ring gear. I will say that.
It kind of reminds me of Bald Bull from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Ah, yeah.
And he was one of the more formidable bosses on that game. We're from different generations.
What was his tick? Which one was his tick?
Is he punch him in the belly and his pants would drop?
No, that's King Hippo. That's the shirt that I'm missing, by the way. He was the one who would take 3 hops back and then do the bull charge.
Okay, yeah.
And, Mount Kadeem has that kind of spirit, that kind of energy. I mean, he's going to hit you hard. Man. You know that you are in for a hell of a match with one of the biggest guys in the locker room, for crying out loud.
And when Mount Kadeem is charging at you, everybody knows.
If Mount Kadeem is anywhere even close to you, just in general, in personal proximity, there's going to be an element of intimidation. I mean, we had front row seats.
I was going to say, we know for a
fact. We were sitting front row.
Not a week ago that we were...
Yeah.
This close to Mount
And
Kadeem.
if you go back and look at this match, you can see where Mount Kadeem and Kal Herro are outside the ring, right in front of us. And, I mean, you could feel the shock waves from, like, the chops that Mount Kadeem hit Kal Herro with. And, I mean, they were literally right in front of us. I thought for sure he was going to chop Kal Herro right into our laps.
I got a little condensation from Mount Kadeem or Kal, one of the two.
Yeah, that's how close we were.
So, Kal dropped to the mat in front of us at one point, kind of leaned over and was like, "You okay, man?" Just in time for Kadeem to kind of come out from the left, and I was like, "I am going to die now," and kind of jump back really quick.
The barriers are there for a reason.
That's right.
True. But what an incredible match.
I don't think anyone was surprised necessarily that Kal lost. I don't think that he was here to win. I think that he's here to get beat up.
He was working on it.
Oh, yeah. No,
I mean, he finally started working on the knees. You could tell he was actually having an effect, and just as about as the tide was getting ready to turn in Kal Herro's favor, in comes Shotgun Tony Gunn.
Of course. Well, and see, I've talked about this before. Kal is at this point one of the more experienced guys you have on the thing. Mount Kadeem lacks a certain killer instinct still. Kal was preparing to take advantage of that fact.
I'm not going to tell him that.
Tony Gunn noticed, knowing Kal, knowing Mount Kadeem, he noticed, oh man, Kadeem's not going to be able to get over the hump without me. Goes out, makes the interference, leaves Kal tenderized for Thanksgiving Thunder when Tony Gunn will get his hands on him.
And there was no physician.
Oh, that's right.
Dr. Asa had been sent home before that match.
I love that as a little kind of sprinkle on top there, that they call for the doctor and someone says, "Oh, Doug already sent her home."
That was a sprinkle of bullshit.
I thought that was a really smart, nice little thing.
Speaking of Thanksgiving Thunder, there is one more thing we need to touch on before we get out of here.
Sure.
Kal Herro's judge for his match.
Well, we still don't know for certain. No. Although during the show we catch a view of him taken through the crack of a door, and we can see him in the other room. We can hear his side of the conversation, but we don't know who he's talking to. But he is talking about trying to get this person to be the third judge for the gentleman's match. I assume that the prize for this match, in addition to bragging rights, is probably some sort of Grey Poupon or some annuities or T-bills or something. I don't know. But whoever it is, he is trying to convince that person to be the third judge because
we already know the first two are Doug and Katie.
Yes.
So not in his corner.
Tony picked Doug. Doug picked Katie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we arrived at those two. But we do not have a third yet. So we will find out this evening.
The only other clue we got is when Kal was in the ring talking about it, the crowd was chanting, "We want Al."
And then he said the people have spoken.
Yes.
But cards subject to change because it's wrestling. And also it's Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So
I think it's Jesse Goddard's.
Well, we're not going to be able to predict this. You know, Wednesday night is after this is recorded. So
yeah, so we are recording this. What time is it right now?
It's a little after 8.
I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. It is 20 to 9. So maybe we should leave soon.
Yeah, we got to leave soon. It is 20 till 9 on Monday night. This will release Tuesday morning. I am saying it here. My prediction, Jesse Goddard's.
You got one, Brian? I know this is kind of last second.
Cash.
That's a good one, too.
Boom.
I'm going to dance to the one who brung us, and I like the crowd. I want Al.
Well, sure, everybody does.
I miss
Al. But you can want in one hand and crap in the other. Yeah.
All right. Anything else we need to cover here?
Do want to say, Chris Runyon, here on the way out, we're thinking of you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think that was the only thing other than this is what I always say on my radio show this time of year. Holidays are great. For some people, they're not. It's okay if they're not for you. Take care of yourself. The best gift you can give yourself during this holiday season is the gift of mental safety and calmness. So give yourself to that. If the holiday seasons are hard to you, we're thinking about you, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, any Thanksgiving message? This is the last time the podcast feed they'll hear from you before the Thanksgiving. Brian, any Thanksgiving thoughts?
Well, sure, I've got plenty of them, but come see me tonight at Thanksgiving Thunder. We're kind of running out of time, but if you come up and talk to me, you know I'm going to stand around and talk because that's pretty much what I do at Davis Arena when I'm not watching the matches. So there you are.
All right, folks. As far as I'm concerned, we really are most thankful for you.
Yes.
That you've chosen to put your headphones on or your earbuds in and let us come and talk to you for almost a year and a half now.
I'm equal parts thankful and surprised.
I'm also a little surprised. I'm thankful for my family, thankful for my son Malachi here by my side. What a fine young man he's turned into. Thankful to OVW for the opportunity they've given us to, even though we are the unofficial podcast, they have opened some doors for us and helped us to do this job a lot better and be able to bring you a much better product. And we're going to keep pressing on that through the holidays and into the new year. And we love you guys, and have a good one.
All right, hurry up. I got to go vape.